Here is where we live, the United States of America. On the other side of the world, there are two countries that have been separated after war called North Korea and South Korea. Currently, North Korea is ruled by dictator Kim Jong-un, who looks sort of like this. You might recognize South Korea after the popular hit by singer Psy last year called Gangnam Style.
오빤 Gangnam Style.
Sound familiar? The country where the famous K-pop singer is from, South Korea, is under the presidency of Park Geun-hye. Here is a map of the two Koreas. When put together, it looks like the shape of a bunny. Although these two countries have the name Korea in them, they are very different in the way their government is ran, such as how much freedom they have and the spending and usage of their money. Here is a little insight into these two countries. North Korea has a population of 24 million people and is known as the troublemaker, or the bad boy. Why? Because they keep making nuclear bombs. These things can kill people. If that isn't bad enough, they have thousands of their own people in prison camps for life working in hard labor. Some are even born into these prison camps and never know what it's like to live in the outside world. South Korea has a population of 50 million people and is doing well economically, politically, and socially. Their government is swarmed through elections, and their economic advancement can be seen even here in the US, such as Samsung, Hyundai, and LG. So, why is it important for us to know about these two countries? It's because the United States, the country we live in today, is an ally, or in other words, friends of South Korea. Since Park Geun-hye became the president of South Korea this year, she's been developing a new plan of action to deal with this resident bad boy, North Korea. The US is taking part in calming North Korea and trying to make an agreement with them so that they don't blow up the entire world and so that they can stop torturing their people. Here are some vocab words that we will learn today. Denuclearization is the method of stopping a country from making nuclear bombs and getting rid of nuclear weapons they already have. Humanitarian aid is the act of helping a country who is going through or has experienced a natural or man-made disastrous emergency by giving them food, shelter, and medical help. These two things are key points that President Park needs to keep in mind in developing her new plan called Trust Politic. Trust Politic means to build trust and create peace between North and South Korea so that they may make a safer environment. President Park wants North Korea to trust South Korea so that they can better help them, and for South Korea to be able to trust that North Korea will denuclearize and work to make a peaceful country. One method of trying to denuclearize North Korea would be for South Korea to become a good ally with strong countries like Hungary, Russia, and China who have good ties with North Korea. South Korea and the US can't talk with North Korea directly because North Korea views them as the enemies. If South Korea can become good allies with North Korea's allies might be able to convince North Korea to stop making bombs and to stop starving their people. Why do I think this will work? Because it's worked before. Former president of South Korea, Roh Tae-woo, built good economic relations with Hungary in 1989 and with the former Soviet Union after their economic collapse. This made North Korea's allies, Hungary and the former Soviet Union, willing to trade and talk about policy with South Korea. Ta-da! When the US is able to build strong and healthful relations with China, it makes China trust us in our decisions. By doing this, China can tell North Korea to stop building bombs, and they may just listen. What will not work for President Park's trust politic? The Sunshine Policy. Although it might sound happy and bright, it is not as helpful as you might think. The Sunshine Policy was a plan of action by previous South Korean President Kim Dae-jung. This policy said that South Korea would actively help North Korea. Help? Help this bad boy? This policy led South Korea to deliver generous amounts of food and money to North Korea, and North Korea didn't have to do anything in return. South Koreans were afraid because they couldn't trust their own government. If South Korea gave this bad boy everything he wanted without having him change the way he starves people or keeps bombs, it might end up in disaster. Even having a strict policy to North Korea can lead them to rebel in anger towards South Korea. In 2010, North Korea sunk a Navy ship in South Korea for no reason, killing 46 people. That same year, North Korea bombed South Korea's small island called Yeonpyeong because they were intimidated of South Korea's military training. So no, giving them things without expecting them to do something right is not okay. They need to know that it is not okay to be working their people in prison camps, starving them, and limiting their freedom. Trust politic. We have come up with a brilliant plan. 1. President Park should strongly work to denuclearize North Korea so that they don't harm others around them. Safety first. 2. President Park should help with the humanitarian aid in North Korea if they plan on listening to the rules. 3. South Korea and the US should become allies with countries who are politically, financially, and militarily strong to help convince North Korea. Great plan, isn't it?